The new PGA Tour of Australasia season welcomed a new event staged at a new course as the Rebel Sport New Zealand Masters signalled the start of the 2018 golfing year. Amongst those Australasian pros teeing it up in the idyllic Kiwi countryside 30 minutes north of Auckland were two of New Zealand's best performed pros from the previous year.
Well, it's 3 minutes from home, which is nice. You know, usually you have to fly 10 hours to get to a golf tournament, but obviously you got two pretty decent golf tournaments with a lot of history around them in New Zealand, being the Open and PGA, and you know, if the Masters gets to that level as well, there's going to be plenty of guys that want that black jacket.
You know, we obviously don't get too much professional golf in New Zealand, so you know, it's nice to play an Aussie Tour event in Auckland, and a few good guys from Aussie come over to play, and obviously with Mike and I playing, it's a pretty reasonable field this week.
The WAINUI Golf Club is just over 1 year old. With sloping fairways and challenging greens, the scorching Kiwi summer meant it would play especially tough for the pros at the Rebel Sport New Zealand Masters.
It's tricky, a lot of undulation changes. It's a great layout. At the moment it's playing really, really tough, firm and fast, and you know, it's probably as tricky as it will ever play.
WAINUI features a particularly tough stretch of holes named after the home course hero.
There's a couple of tricky holes out there, 13-14, we call Hendry's Corner. Two really tough par fives, and you know, if you walk away playing them even par, you're pretty happy, and it's a fun golf course to play. It's going to be an interesting test this week, being so dry, but as I said, it's nice to start an event at home and a good warm-up for the next few weeks.
Continued hot, dry conditions produced a hard, fast and difficult course for the 97-strong field for round one of the Rebel Sport Masters. The challenge in controlling the ball on the rock-hard fairways was evidenced by the highest-ranked golfer in the field, Ryan Fox, one of 84 players unable to break par. That made it all the more impressive for those that did get into red numbers in round one, including Kiwi-based Australian Peter Fowler. Having finished third on the European Seniors Tour Order of Merit last year, Fowler carried that form through to WAINUI, where he suffered just the one blemish on his card on his way to an opening round of 5 under 66. Fowler's round one success doubly impressive, as he'd only played the tricky WAINUI layout twice before the tournament began.
I hit the ball really good. I drove the ball well and hit a lot of great iron shots, and my putting was, you know, one of the best it's been over the last 12 months, so pretty happy.
Joining Fowler as an early leader was unheralded New South Welshman Austin Bautista. With just the one bogey on his card, the second-year pro negotiated his way around the WAINUI course to card a 5 under 66.
Yeah, it was a good round. I don't know, I prepared well. The course suits my eye. I kind of like the way it looks, and I putted well. I mean, I didn't make a lot of long putts, but I definitely stuck it close to like 10 feet, and when I got my opportunities, I took them.
One of the marquee names in the field and playing his home course, Michael Hendry, shot up the leaderboard on his opening 9 to be 4 under through 6 holes. The reigning New Zealand Open champion then hung tough on his second 9 to finish 2 under in a group of 5 players sharing 4th.
I hit it really close early, so I managed the whole one on 15 for 2, so you know, 4 under quickly, and then it was sort of a matter of just hanging on. You know, hopefully I can go out there and do much the same tomorrow and put another decent score on the board.
The afternoon field found WAINUI's fast fairways equally challenging, with Ashburton pro Daniel Pearce one of a handful to make an impression on the leaderboard. The reigning Queensland PGA champ was in control of his irons all day and fired in this fine approach into the 18th pin. That left him with a birdie chance on the last to join Fowler and Bautista in a share of the lead. But he was more than happy with his 4 under round, having dialed back his renowned long game.
Well, I guess you could call it conservative, aggressive golf this week. So a lot of irons off the tees. It's just trying to get it into position to give yourself a shot at the green, really, is all you need to do out there.
So a senior pro and a Q School graduate lead the Rebel Masters, with Peter Fowler and Austin Bautista both on 5 under, one ahead of Daniel Pearce. Michael Hendry shares 4th, and just 13 golfers able to break par on a truly challenging track. Round 2 of the Rebel Sport New Zealand Masters saw more hot conditions for those looking to fire their way up the leaderboard at WAINUI Golf Club. And posting the round of the day was second-year pro Nick Coxon. The 21-year-old Waikato golfer mixed 5 birdies and a bogey on his first 9 and added another birdie on his second 9 to sign for a round of 5 under 66 and take the lead at 7 under. Joining Coxon in a share of the lead was Daniel Pearce, another to take advantage of the still morning conditions. The 2-time Charles Tour winner had a rollercoaster first 9. Following 4 straight birdies, he then suffered back-to-back double bogeys approaching the turn. But the 28-year-old got his round back on track with a birdie here on his 10th hole, the par 4 first, following this pinpoint approach shot. Pearce picked up 2 further birdies coming home to card a 3 under round to go with his 4 under opening round.
Still a long way to go in the tournament, obviously, so just happy to be playing well again. If they leave the course in similar setup over the weekend, I definitely think I could post a lower number than what I had the first 2 rounds.
A number of golfers in the afternoon posted red numbers to move them up the leaderboard and into contention to claim the first ever black jacket, including former European Tour winner Mark Brown, who was one of 4 golfers at 3 under, tied for 6th. Also moving into the group at 3 under was Matthew Millar. The likeable Aussie compiled an impressive 4 under second round, displaying plenty of control over his short irons and wedges.
Yeah, no, it was good. I played really well, particularly through the back 9. Hit some good ones. Just finding the fairway, hitting nice short irons in, and not far away and knocking the putts in. So it was a big help.
The winner of the 2015 New Zealand PGA Champs was looking ahead to the chance of picking up a second pro title of the Kiwi Golfing Triple Crown.
Yeah, obviously it'd be nice to add this one to the resume, and then can't work on the Open, but we'll try and get this one done first.
Ending the second round a shot ahead of Millar and Brown, and in a share of 4th, was popular New Zealand pro Brad Shilton. He posted a second straight round of 2 under 69 to have him well in contention of adding another Australasian title to his 2012 South Pacific Open crown.
Great to have another new event in New Zealand. 3 Aussie Tour events now in New Zealand, so we're doing pretty well there. And anytime you have a win's great, but to do it on home soil would be fantastic.
So a pair of big-hitting Kiwis in the form of Nick Coxon and Daniel Pearce lead the Rebel Sport New Zealand Masters by 2 shots. 58-year-old Peter Fowler sits an outright third, and Matthew Millar and Mark Brown are in a group of 4 golfers, 4 shots off the lead. The Rebel Sport New Zealand Masters is not only a new event for New Zealand golf and the PGA Tour of Australasia, but features a unique format. On Friday night, a draw was made for amateurs to partner the professionals on the weekend, teaming up with the pros during the cutthroat environment of Saturday and Sunday.
Who wants to be with Ryan Fox? Tane Derriman. Well done, Tane. He's happy with that.
Obviously, lucky draw playing with Ryan Fox. That's probably what everyone wanted, and probably try and keep out of his way as much as possible. There's a few tournaments like this around, but they generally have it on the Thursday or the Friday that you get to play. So obviously playing on the weekend, like you say, they're earning their living. That's a privilege, and looking forward to it. So.
The other marquee name in the draw was that of New Zealand number 3, Michael Hendry. That honour claimed by Andy Bowering, making it well worth the trip for Melbourne.
Well, I probably could have done a bit better. I mean, I could have got a Masters champion. I wound up with the current reigning New Zealand Open champion. It's actually unique that we actually play a Pro-Am on the final 2 days of a major tournament. You play in the New Zealand Open as an amateur in the Pro-Am, you get cut out. And to actually turn up here on a Saturday and looking forward to potentially playing in a leading group coming down 18 as an amateur golfer is pretty exciting.
The Rebel Sport New Zealand Masters is the idea of golf-mad businessmen Rob Duke and Gerard Peterson.
There's not a lot of events for New Zealand professionals outside the New Zealand Open and the PGA, and hence the Masters is born, because we're trying to give young New Zealanders, pros, an opportunity to play in a top event in our country. And it's fantastic that we've got the right golf course to do it on as well.
The real novelty of this event is in fact pros and amateurs together in carts Saturday, Sunday. The Australian PGA loved it. The pros, I'm sure, will love it. and the amateurs will just be thrilled to be with the professionals all day Saturday and Sunday.
Round 3 of the Rebel Sport New Zealand Masters saw a tricky wind buffet the Wainui course, adding to the degree of difficulty for the professionals and their amateur team partners. Making an early run up the leaderboard was New Zealand number 2, Ryan Fox, who mixed 3 birdies and 2 bogeys on the front 9, then 3 more birdies on the 11th, 12th and 14th that saw him vault into second spot. But the course bid back, and like 51 others on Saturday, he failed to break par as he signed for an even par 71. Another to muster a 71 was 1993 New Zealand Open champ Peter Fowler. 3 birdies and 3 bogeys signalled a topsy-turvy round, but the man known as Chook was more than satisfied to be positioned 3rd after 54 holes.
I played pretty solid all the way around. My iron's a lot better today, so no, I feel pretty good. Hitting the ball solid and getting it in the zone, so I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Joining Fowler in 3rd was overnight leader Nick Coxon. The Waikato pro walked away from Wainui with a score of 2 over 73, although still in position to make a run at his first ever victory of his young professional career.
Oh, I just missed my Aussie card by 1 at Q School a few weeks ago, so obviously give me a decent playing rights, which would be good. Yeah, it'd mean a lot.
2 familiar foes ground their way towards the top of the leaderboard, with Matt Millar picking up shots on the 5th and 7th holes. He bounced back from a bogey on 11 with another birdie at 12, along with this birdie on the par 5 14th. The Canberra golfer finished in style, getting his revenge on the 18th hole, which he'd played 3 over during his first 2 rounds. The 41-year-old used the slope expertly to ultimately leave himself with a simple tap-in birdie to record the round of the day, a 4-under 67. Millar now 7 under for the tournament and outright second.
I was pretty solid today. Not too many mistakes. To be honest, I'm pretty happy with it. I didn't think it was that easy out there. Just with the course being bouncy and that bit of breeze, it was probably a bit stronger again today than it has been. So, a couple of tricky pins, a couple of accessible ones. So, all in all, I was pretty happy with it.
But extending his lead atop the Rebel Sport New Zealand Masters leaderboard was Daniel Pearce. The Ashburton professional bounced back from an early bogey on the 2nd to record birdies at 4 and 7. It was a similar story for the long-driving Kiwi on the back 9, where he mixed a bogey with 2 birdies to complete a 2-under round and see him push through to 9 under for the tournament. A 2-shot lead heading into the final day.
She was pretty up and down, but pleased to, always good to be in the lead. So I've been playing pretty good this week, so just keep trying to do what I've been doing, and if it's good enough, it's good enough. If not, try again next week.
So Daniel Pearce sits 2 shots clear in his quest to win the inaugural Black Jacket. 2 experienced Aussies, Matthew Millar and Peter Fowler, occupy 2nd and 3rd respectively. But much could change over the final 18 holes of the Rebel Sport New Zealand Masters. And while scoring at Wainui was tough for the pros, there were plenty of low numbers when combined with their amateur partners in the team format. And no pairing went quite as low on Saturday as Queensland pro Daniel McGraw and Whitford Park member Murray Key, who combined for a scintillating 61 to lead the team competition by 1 shot.
I didn't contribute too much. It was Murray's great golf that got us that score. But yeah, it was good to shoot that score on the 4-ball for sure.
It's really interesting playing with a pro and just seeing how they shape the ball and read the course. It's been a lot of fun, and Dan is a great guy to play with.
So the Trans-Tasman pairing of Daniel McGraw and Murray Key lead the team format by 1 shot from Adam Burdett and Mark Pirihi, all hoping to slip on a black jacket come Sunday. Stiffer winds and fast-running fairways ensured an even tougher challenge heading into the 4th and final round of the Rebel Sport New Zealand Masters. With only 11 golfers under par after 54 holes, low scores seemed unlikely at WAINUI Golf Club, but one pro showed that golf can be a simple game. Luke Toomey acing the 11th hole to snare himself return tickets to Europe, care of Cathay Pacific.
3-1 start. Oh, boom!
Got no one to go with you, I'll go.
That ball's going in the bag straight away.
Atop the leaderboard, Daniel Pearce at 9 under held a 2-shot lead over Matthew Millar, the man he beat in a 6-hole sudden death playoff to claim March's Queensland PGA Championship. Both golfers parred the first 3 holes, with Pearce extracting himself from a number of tough positions, a theme of their early tussle. On the par 5 4th hole, Millar, hoping to add the Masters title to his 2015 New Zealand PGA crown, knocked his approach into 5 feet, leaving himself this birdie to get to 8 under, 1 back of Pearce. Those in touching distance of Pearce and Millar were unable to make inroads on the leading pair. But from well back in the pack, David Smale made an unlikely surge up the leaderboard, with 2 opening birdies and another long-range effort on the 3rd. The former New Zealand Open champ now 3 under for the tournament. The Japan Tour pro made it 4 straight birdies soon after and then had this chance to pick up 5 shots in the opening 6 holes. Smale now 5 under and quickly into 3rd spot. Pearce and Millar continued their duel through the front 9, where a wayward drive from the Ashburton pro saw him ultimately chipping for par. That resulted in a drop shot. And with Millar walking off the 6th green with par, the 2 familiar foes were now locked in the lead at 8 under. The very next hole, and Pearce was again faced with a tough par saver. 2 dropped shots in 2 holes, and the Kiwi was back to 7 under, Millar alone in the lead. To the par 3 8th hole, where Pearce was faced with an improbable putt to save par and prevent a 3rd straight dropped shot. The 2-time Charles Tour winner was able to stop the free fall as he remained 1 shot adrift of Millar. The par 3 11th would prove a crucial hole. With Pearce's tee shot in the back trap, he needed to chip close to prevent losing ground. Millar was safely on the 11th green, but with plenty to do as he lined up his birdie putt. That piled the pressure back onto Pearce as he putted for par. A crucial 2-shot swing as Pearce falls to 6 under and Millar now 9 under. But the infamous Hendry's corner was certain to decide the fate of the black jacket. A 2-hole stretch of par 5s that can make or break championship hopes. And Pearce, looking to dial back his renowned strength off the tee, pushed his tee ball way right into the thick rough. The 28-year-old took 6 to make the green, walking away with a double bogey. 41-year-old Millar safely negotiated the first of the par 5s with par. Now 5 clear of Pearce, whose Masters run was suddenly over. On to the 14th, and Millar again played it safe down the fairway, with the former European Tour pro putting himself into position to walk away with a rare birdie to complete Hendry's corner. Millar moves to 10 under and now 3 clear of the chasing bunch with 4 holes to play. And the man now 3 back of Millar was Peter Fowler, who had mixed 5 birdies and 3 bogeys to get himself to 7 under after 17 holes. That was 1 shot ahead of David Smale, whose birdie procession had come to a halt on the back 9. Playing the par 4 last, his tee shot found the greenside bunker. That left Smale with this birdie chance for an incredible 7 under round. David Smale carding a faultless course record 7 under, breaking Wainui's previous best round from Wai Yang. And when Fowler missed his par on the final hole to drop to 6 under, Smale was clubhouse leader and sitting in second, and pretty content.
No, it was good. I started off just 4 birdies in a row. I just holed some long putts and just felt like my day. So, yeah, actually, even though I had a course record, I still left a couple out there, which was, so it was really, tee to green was pretty immaculate, really.
Still, with 4 holes to play, Matthew Millar needed to par his way home to ensure victory. But the former teacher did better than that. A simple birdie tap-in sending Millar 4 shots clear with 3 to play and the champion-elect. The former school teacher parred the 16th and 17th and made no mistake on the 72nd hole either to seal a 3rd straight 4-under round. Matthew Millar winning the Rebel Sport New Zealand Masters by a hugely impressive 4-shot margin.
I went out there today just, really trying to mind my own business, really. Just trying to play my shots, and see what I could, see if I could just knuckle down, concentrate on every one of them. Absolutely thrilled to win. Just really happy not to drop any shots out there in the blustery conditions today. I love coming to New Zealand. People are great. Never not enjoyed a trip to New Zealand, even when I haven't played well. It's a great place. The food's always great as well. So, I love coming over. If they're happy to take me, yeah, that's great. But we should probably move an Australian Open over here or something. I don't know, maybe I might get a win then.
So Matthew Millar cards a faultless 4-under final round to win the first ever Rebel Sport New Zealand Masters. Smale surges into 2nd, Fox claims a share of 4th, while Daniel Pearce settles for 6th and Michael Hendry finishes in a share of 8th. The 2 pros at the top of the leaderboard both helped their amateur partners contend in the team competition. David Smale and Royal Auckland member John Bowering combined for a Sunday 61 to claim 3rd spot on countback. A countback also was needed to separate 1st and 2nd. Aussie pro Nathan Miller and Whitford Park's Matt Hoare shot 63 on Saturday and backed that up with a superb 61 on Sunday. But that was only good enough for 2nd. It all came down to the 72nd hole for Peter McCormack. Playing alongside Masters champ Matthew Millar, the Remuera amateur nailed his 6-footer to see the pair sign for 61 and take out the Rebel Sport Masters Team Championship.
I'm a member at Remuera, and I remember Matthew played in the PGA at Remuera, and I followed him for most of his 3rd and 4th round. So, I knew of who he was, and I knew he was a great player.
We combined quite well over the 2 days. I think I didn't make too many mistakes, and then Pete chimed in with a lot of birdies and so on, and I think he had a 2-net 1 yesterday there on a tough hole. So, yeah, it was great for us.
Matthew needs all the credit. His consistency over the 2 days, just absolutely phenomenal. I think you hit 1 bad shot in the 2 days.
Oh, there's a couple of ordinaries, yeah.
But that's about it. Just phenomenal golf.
Kiwi amateur Peter McCormack gets to slip on a black jacket, with Matthew Millar as the pair take out the Rebel Sport New Zealand Masters Team Championship on a countback. So double delight for Matthew Millar. That is the newly minted Rebel Sport New Zealand Master. To go with his NZPGA Championship crown, the Aussie will be attempting the Kiwi Golfing Triple Crown at the New Zealand Open in March.